We got him. We just have one party.
Sending some people to 11th and Harney now. I need officers to 11th and Harney. Head to 11th and Harney from 14th. Repeat your location. We're sending officers now to 11th and Howard. Is that where you need them? 11th and Harney. I got 4 against about 100. If you come up 10th, you'll be okay. I would come up 10th and then just go the wrong way on Harney for a block.
The other individual then jumped on him or attacked him, that he's doing a chokehold on him, that he begged and pleaded for this person to get off. The person was trying to get at the gun. He thought he was in danger of losing his life or some serious bodily injury, and so he fired that shot in self-defense.
We can't keep allowing things like this to go and just slap it on the wrist and give it an excuse and say I did my job. What I ask them to do is evoke the grand jury.
Just over 1 week and a grand jury returns with an indictment against Omaha bar owner Jake Gardner. To come to that conclusion, Special Prosecutor Frederick Franklin says Omaha police provided 60 different witness accounts and evidence from that May incident. Here's what we all know from that night. Protester James Scurlock was shot and killed. Leading up to the shooting, surveillance video shows a confrontation and then Scurlock jumping on Jake Gardner's back. Gardner says in self-defense he fired the shots, killing Scurlock. But what the grand jury saw was very different.
But what I can tell you is that evidence comes primarily from Jake Gardner himself.
The special prosecutor says this was evidence gathered about activity even before Gardner came in contact with Scurlock.
The grand jury was able to have information from his cell phone, from his Facebook Messenger account.
The ruling very different from the initial self-defense by Douglas County Attorney Don Klein. In fact, Franklin says he himself expected the same ruling from this grand jury.
I believe that there is competent, credible evidence to support the decision that they in fact did make.
And it's with that evidence the grand jury brought forth the indictments. But Franklin is careful to point out
Jake Gardner is a man presumed innocent as I stand here before you right now.
1106, I copy the suicidal threat on 9th.
1154. These are towards the suicidal threat. It's going to be East 9th Avenue. Sounds like our caller's wanting a phone call first.
And 1106 to 1122. When you're free, give me 21, please. 1122, copy. 1154, is the RP still on the phone with you guys? Okay, I'll give him a call. 1108.
1108?
Have we tried to run that subject yet in 1154's call?
Do that now. 54. The subject last at Gardner shows to be UTL DMV Oregon, looks like valid Nebraska, and clear.
1106, will you back up, clear me off of the motorist assist, and put me on the a shuttle direct call. 54 to units in the call. Can I have one or two of you guys go check out Walnut Park off of 16th and Walnut? And 1106 to 1154. Can you give me a 21 before we do that? Paper. And 1106 to units on this call. Stand down on further action, and Officer Ramirez has some additional info from our chat. 1106. Dad confirms that Jake definitely owns a gun, and Jake usually keeps it in his room, but Dad is unable to find it. 1106, I'll be out with the stairs in front of Southeast 9.
You'll be out with what?
Be out with the Terrace.
Copy.
1106 to 1108. I'm going to give you a 21. Copy, phone in. This is Airport 1106. Are we going to block 9th off completely for traffic, or are we going to keep it open? Let's not block that intersection. Let's pull it in a little bit and just string tape north to south on 9th from baseline to Oak, please. 1106, you can show the Chaplain 97.
The officers in Hillsboro, Oregon, confirmed they found Jake Gardner's body. That's just west of Portland. He faced charges in Douglas County for the shooting death of James Scurlock in May. But now the case will end without a trial or a verdict.
KETV News Watch 7's Sarah Feely is here with tonight's big story. Sarah.
Gardner's attorneys say they told him to get out of Omaha for his own protection. He was supposed to be back in Omaha this evening to face his charges. Tonight, they say 2 men have died as a result of a, quote, terrible tragedy.
Attorneys Stu Dornan and Tom Monahan reveal the moments leading up to a deadly night in May.
He was present when what he thought was a shot came through the front window. It was actually a pole that was thrown through the front window. And individuals began to climb into the front window to begin to vandalize his bar.
Jake Gardner's defense team says he pulled the fire alarm in his business, called police, then went outside. That's when his encounter with 22-year-old James Scurlock started. His attorneys Sunday say civil unrest and protests triggered Gardner's PTSD from tours in Iraq.
He told us that he felt that he was in the war zone that night, outside of his bar, with the violence, the tear gas, and the mass confusion.
Gardner's legal team says they allowed him to answer every question police had. They also let investigators look through his phone. Earlier this month, a grand jury led by Special Prosecutor Fred Franklin says that evidence showed Gardner's state of mind before the shooting.
The grand jury was able to have information from his cell phone, from his Facebook Messenger account. They were able to review video from inside Mr. Gardner's business.
Gardner's attorneys stand firm their client is innocent, calling the indictment shocking.
Mr. Gardner is not going to be here to allow us to put on a trial to show, in fact, he was not guilty. We believe we could have done that.
His defense team says the pressure and fear of returning home were too much for Gardner.
This violence must stop. The justice system must be allowed to do its work. Cases should be decided in a courtroom and not on social media.
Now, I called Justin Wayne, the lawyer for James Scurlock's family, multiple times this evening. He's not responded past saying that he had spoken with the family.
And a group of local artists spray painted this mural on the side of a building at 24th and Camden. One artist said that they had been working on this piece since Tuesday. Several people stopped to get a closer look, and one described it as beautiful and sad.
Another group of community members worked on this mural at 16th and Farnham. The volunteer artists used the sidewalks and a boarded-up window as their canvas. One of the artists tells us more than 100 people helped with it throughout the day, from the design phase to the painting and everything in between.
Not everyone knows how they can help right now, so just by using our talents, our artistic talents, to be able to make a statement, I think is a really beautiful thing.
Mason says the mural also spurred meaningful conversation among community members.